You ever stand in the cereal aisle and just stare? All those boxes, oats with fruit, oats with honey, oats with heart-healthy labels in bold red letters. It's overwhelming. And let's be honest, when you're just trying to make a good breakfast choice at 7 a.m., with stiff knees and not enough coffee, reading the fine print on a food label isn't exactly fun. So, maybe like so many of us, you stick with oatmeal. It feels like the safe bet. After all, it's what we've been told for decades. Oatmeal is good for the heart, lowers cholesterol, helps with digestion. And all of that is true. Sort of. But what if I told you that some of the most common oatmeal habits are quietly draining your energy, spiking your blood sugar, and even messing with your memory? Let's take a breath here, because this isn't about guilt. As we age, our bodies shift. They digest differently, absorb nutrients differently, and even crave different foods. That bowl of oats you swore by at 40 might not be serving you the same way now. And that's okay. The beauty is, it's never too late to learn how to fuel your body with kindness and purpose. So today we're going to gently explore the oatmeal habits that could be holding you back, and how to turn them into real nourishment. And don't worry, you don't have to give up your morning bowl. In fact, you may end up loving it more, with a few simple, powerful changes. Now, here's something most people miss. The oatmeal itself isn't usually the problem. It's what we add, or don't add. Take fiber. Oats are naturally rich in soluble fiber, which supports digestion and helps keep cholesterol in check. But if you're using the instant stuff, especially the flavored packets, chances are you're getting more sugar than fiber. Some of those packets pack in nearly 3 teaspoons of added sugar per serving. And when that sugar hits your bloodstream first thing in the morning, it's like lighting a match. A burst of energy, then crash. Brain fog, irritability, and that gnawing hunger an hour later that makes you reach for a muffin. And let's talk about protein. Most seniors, especially women, aren't getting enough protein early in the day. Oatmeal by itself is mostly carbs. Without a protein partner, it can throw off your blood sugar balance and leave your muscles underfed. And your muscles matter, not just for walking and standing, but for balance, metabolism, and even brain health. Another thing I see all the time? Skipping breakfast entirely, or eating too late. Our metabolism starts winding down earlier than it used to. So if breakfast isn't nourishing, or worse, if it's missing, we end up chasing energy all day with coffee, snacks, or even naps. And by dinner, we're hungrier than ever, which can throw off digestion and sleep. But here's the good news. Every single one of these habits is adjustable, and even small tweaks, adding some protein, cutting the sugar, changing your oats, can have a big effect on how you feel by mid-morning. You might notice fewer aches, clearer thinking, more energy, and even a more stable mood. And if you're still watching this video and finding these insights valuable, please comment number 1 below to let me know you're here. And if you haven't subscribed yet, I recommend you subscribe and turn on the bell so you don't miss any videos. Your support helps us continue creating good content to inform and inspire you. Let's keep going, because the truth is, oatmeal can still be your best friend in the morning. But first, we need to make sure it's working for you, not against you. Let's take a quiet moment here. Picture this. It's early. The light is soft through the kitchen window, and you're standing over the stove stirring your oats. Maybe the radio is murmuring in the background, or maybe it's just you and your thoughts. Mornings like this carry a certain kind of peace, but also a chance to set the tone for your whole day. And what you put in that breakfast bowl matters more than most people realize, because as we age, the body's relationship with food becomes more delicate and more powerful. A bowl of oatmeal that's properly balanced can support digestion energy, and even mental clarity. But it has to be done right. Now, let's talk energy. Have you ever eaten breakfast and still felt sluggish afterward? That's more common than you'd think. When you pair oatmeal with very little fat or protein, like when it's made with water and a sprinkle of cinnamon, you may be missing the key elements that stabilize your blood sugar. Without that stability, your body burns through the carbs too quickly, leaving you in a slump before 10 a.m. And you know who else notices? Your brain. The brain uses a tremendous amount of fuel, and it likes steady energy. If breakfast sends your blood sugar on a roller coaster, your mind can feel foggy, forgetful, even anxious. So while oatmeal has the potential to be a brain food, it only earns that title when it's part of a balanced meal. Here's something I love to share with my clients. Spacing out protein through the day makes a bigger difference than just cramming it in at dinner. Seniors especially need more protein than they think, not just for muscles, but to support enzymes, hormones, and tissue repair. Starting the day with around 15 to 20 grams of protein is a gift to your whole system. That might look like stirring Greek yogurt into your oats, or adding a scoop of collagen, or even pairing it with an egg or a small piece of cheese. None of this needs to be complicated. And hydration? Oh, hydration is so overlooked in the morning. It's easy to forget a glass of water when all you want is a hot cup of coffee. But remember this. Your body has gone 7, maybe 8 hours without any fluids. Before you even take a bite, sipping water, warm or cold, gets your digestion ready and helps soften your stool. For anyone struggling with constipation or slow digestion, that's no small thing. Let me tell you about Irene. She's 73, lives in Arizona, and for years, her breakfast was just oatmeal with banana slices. Healthy, right? But she kept feeling dizzy mid-morning and always needed a nap by noon. Once she started drinking a full glass of water before breakfast, added a tablespoon of ground flax seeds, and paired her oats with half a boiled egg, she noticed the difference within a week. I felt sharper, she said, and I didn't need that nap anymore. Sometimes it's not about big changes, it's about smart ones. And that brings us back to you. If oatmeal is part of your routine, that's already a great start. But your body deserves more than empty sweetness and quick carbs. It deserves nourishment that lasts through the morning, supports your memory, helps you walk taller, and gives you that lightness in your step again. You don't need to give up your oats. You just need to upgrade them a little. That's what we're here to explore together. Let's pause for a second and think about something most folks overlook. What you top your oatmeal with. Now I know it's tempting. You're standing there with your warm bowl and you reach for what's easy. Maybe brown sugar, dried cranberries, a little maple syrup, or even a drizzle of flavored creamer if you're the adventurous type. But those innocent sprinkles, they can tip the balance of your entire breakfast. Here's why. Dried fruit, flavored syrups, and even store-bought granola are packed with what we call added sugars. Not the kind that comes naturally in fruits or dairy, the kind that sneaks into your meal and floods your bloodstream with a fast rush of glucose. And if you're over 60, your body doesn't process that sugar the way it used to. The insulin response slows, and what used to be an energy boost now turns into inflammation, fatigue, and in some cases, even joint stiffness. This doesn't mean oatmeal has to be bland. In fact, flavor is key. But we want the kind that loves you back. Try this instead. Half a diced apple cooked right into the oats, or fresh blueberries stirred in after cooking. The fiber in whole fruits helps slow down the sugar release, so your body stays calm, energized, and balanced. And speaking of balance, let's talk healthy fats. Do you add any to your oatmeal? Most people don't. But a little fat in the morning can work wonders for your brain and your digestion. Walnuts, for example, are rich in omega-3s, which reduce inflammation and support memory. Just a small handful chopped into your bowl can help you feel fuller longer and give your brain something to smile about. There's also chia seeds, flax, or even a swirl of almond butter if you're feeling fancy. These are more than trendy toppings. They're nutrient-dense allies that help turn your oatmeal into a true superfood. And you'll find that when your breakfast includes healthy fats, your hunger quiets down, your energy stretches out, and your focus sharpens. And you know what's beautiful about all of this? These aren't dramatic changes. We're not asking you to flip your routine upside down. Just small, loving edits to the habits you already have. One of the biggest mistakes I see seniors make is snacking too heavily in the evening. That mid-afternoon slump leads to a bag of chips or a sweet treat, and before you know it, you're not even hungry for dinner. Or worse, you wake up at 2 a.m. with indigestion. But when your day starts strong and smart, with something like well-balanced oatmeal, those cravings shrink. Your body isn't screaming for fuel later on because you've already fed it well. This is the quiet power of nutrition. It doesn't always shout. Sometimes it whispers through better sleep, steadier energy, less bloating, and that peaceful feeling that your body is finally in rhythm again. And if you're still watching this video and finding these insights valuable, please comment number 3 below to let me know you're here. And if you haven't subscribed yet, I recommend you subscribe and turn on the bell so you don't miss any videos. Your support helps us continue creating good content to inform and inspire you. Let's keep going. Because now that we're starting to rebuild our oatmeal the right way, there's one more ingredient that's been hiding in plain sight. Let's open the pantry together. Go ahead. Picture that shelf with the oatmeal canister. Maybe it's the classic old-fashioned kind. Maybe it's steel cut. Or maybe you've got those quick cooking packets lined up like little soldiers. Whatever you've got in there, here's a question worth asking. Is the oatmeal you're using actually helping your health? Or just filling your stomach? Because not all oats are created equal. Here's what most people don't realize. The more processed the oat, the faster it turns into sugar in your body. That means the instant oatmeal, the kind that softens with a little hot water in under a minute, hits your bloodstream almost as quickly as white bread. That kind of speed might sound convenient, but when it comes to digestion and energy, it's more of a crash course. Now let's talk about something much gentler: steel-cut oats. These little gems are less processed and digest more slowly. They help you feel full longer and give your body a steadier stream of energy. They also contain a bit more fiber, which is essential for older adults. Fiber doesn't just keep you regular, it helps lower cholesterol, regulate blood sugar, and even support gut health, which is closely tied to immunity and mood. And if steel-cut oats feel like too much work in the morning, I get it. You don't need to stand over the stove. You can make a batch ahead of time and reheat it during the week, or even try overnight oats using them. Just soak them a little longer. And there's something else I want to bring into the light: cinnamon. A spice you might already be sprinkling into your oats without even thinking about it, but it's doing more than adding flavor. Cinnamon has natural blood sugar balancing properties. Just a half teaspoon in your morning bowl can help slow the digestion of carbs and ease those morning sugar spikes. Then there's turmeric. Yes, that golden spice you might know from curries. Turmeric contains curcumin, a natural anti-inflammatory that's been shown to help with joint pain, brain fog, and even mood. Stirring just a pinch into your oats, especially alongside a healthy fat like coconut milk or walnuts, can give it the boost it needs to work its magic. These aren't exotic add-ons. They're simple, affordable, and already in many people's kitchens. But when added with care, they become so much more than flavor. They become food as medicine. And let's not forget warmth itself. A warm breakfast, like a bowl of oatmeal made with intention, can soothe your digestion, especially if you struggle with cold hands, cold feet, or that sluggish feeling in the morning. In many traditions, especially in Eastern medicine, warm food is considered grounding and healing. And there's something to that, don't you think? That feeling of calm after a hot, satisfying breakfast. It sets the tone for the whole day. The key here isn't to overcomplicate things. It's to listen to your body, to your energy levels, to how you feel an hour after eating. Oatmeal has the potential to be a truly nourishing start, but it needs your help. It needs those extra touches, the protein, the fat, the fiber, the spices, to really become the meal your aging body needs. Because this isn't about restriction, it's about renourishment, about reclaiming breakfast as something that fuels your spirit and supports your strength, not just fills a hole in your stomach. And if you're starting to feel a little inspired to play with your oatmeal again, to see it not as a bland necessity, but as a quiet, healing ritual, then you're right where you need to be. Now let's talk about something we don't always like to admit, the real-life hurdles that get in the way. Because even with all the best nutrition tips, some mornings just don't go as planned. You might wake up a little late, feel a little off, or just not have the energy to cook from scratch. And that's okay. You're human. You've lived a lot of mornings, some easier than others. One of the most common things I hear from older adults is this: I know what I should be eating, but I just don't feel like it. Sometimes it's a change in taste. Foods that used to bring comfort suddenly seem bland, too sweet, or just unappealing. Or maybe grocery shopping has started to feel like a chore. The aisles feel longer, the labels look more confusing, and lifting those bags feels heavier than it used to. And then there are the days when you simply forget to take your supplements, or look at the fridge and think, I'll just grab toast and coffee and figure it out later. Let me reassure you, you're not alone in that. Every single one of those moments is a real valid part of aging, but they don't have to stop you from nourishing yourself well. So here's where we get creative, not complicated. There are easy swaps and gentle routines that can help you stay consistent without draining your energy. For example, if you've lost the taste for sweet oatmeal, try going savory. A small pinch of salt, a soft boiled egg on top, maybe a sprinkle of chives or a dash of olive oil. It transforms your oats into something cozy, comforting, and satisfying in a totally different way. Or maybe it's the prep that's holding you back. If you find it hard to stand and cook in the morning, prep your oats at night. Overnight oats, stored in the fridge, are ready and waiting when you wake up. Just stir, warm if you like, and add a handful of your favorite topping. Even steel-cut oats can be slow-cooked in bulk and portioned out. One effort, many mornings taken care of. Now let's say your memory's been a bit foggy, and you often forget that multivitamin or calcium supplement sitting in the cabinet. One trick that helps: create a breakfast tray. A simple little setup with your oats, your favorite bowl, a spoon, and next to it, your daily supplements in a small dish. It's a quiet reminder. It doesn't shout. It just waits for you, like a friend who's always there when you need them. We also can't ignore the emotional weight of grocery fatigue. You walk into the store and suddenly feel overwhelmed by prices, by packaging, by choices. But you don't need to buy 20 ingredients to build a better oatmeal. A few staples go a long way. Oats, a protein source like yogurt or eggs, some fruit, a healthy fat, and 1 or 2 spices. That's it. That's the whole toolbox. And if mobility is an issue, many stores now offer senior delivery services or low-cost pickup. You don't have to carry it all anymore. You just have to care for yourself enough to ask for that bit of help. That's not weakness, that's wisdom. We're not aiming for perfection here. We're aiming for ease, for sustainability, for small, beautiful wins, like a warm bowl of oats that truly satisfies and strengthens you, instead of leaving you hungry or tired an hour later. And if you're still watching this video and finding these insights valuable, please comment number 5 below to let me know you're here. And if you haven't subscribed yet, I recommend you subscribe and turn on the bell so you don't miss any videos. Your support helps us continue creating good content to inform and inspire you. You don't have to overhaul your whole kitchen or relearn how to eat. You just need 1 or 2 gentle shifts, and maybe a little reminder that you're worth the effort. Let's revisit something simple. Something so ordinary that we often forget how powerful it is. Water. Yes, water. The first ingredient your body asks for every morning, even before food. But so many of us pour a hot cup of coffee, reach for the toast or oatmeal, and forget the one thing that truly jumpstarts our digestion, our circulation, and our brain. If you can make just one change tomorrow, let it be this. Drink a full glass of water before your oatmeal. Room temperature or warm, whatever feels gentle. This small act helps prepare your stomach for food, supports your kidneys, and even reduces the urge to overeat. And if you take fiber in the morning, whether in your oats or a supplement, that water becomes even more essential to help it move smoothly through your system. Now, let's talk about another overlooked detail: how you combine your nutrients. You may already know that calcium is important for bone strength, especially after 60. But did you know your body can absorb it better when it's paired with certain foods? Calcium needs partners, like vitamin D, magnesium, and sometimes healthy fat, to do its job properly. If you're adding milk or yogurt to your oats, that's a good start. But make sure you're also getting a little fat in the mix, like nuts or seeds, to help your body absorb what's there. And salt? Let's not ignore salt. Now, I'm not here to scare you into cutting all sodium. Our bodies do need some salt, especially if you're sweating, walking, or live in a warmer climate. But the real issue is added salt, the kind hiding in processed toppings like flavored nut butters, packaged oat mixes, or even non-dairy creamers. These can add up quickly and quietly. So how do you strike the balance? Stick with real whole ingredients. If you want flavor, reach for cinnamon, nutmeg, or even a little vanilla extract. These offer taste without tipping your blood pressure in the wrong direction. And if you're using salted ingredients like peanut butter or roasted nuts, just keep the portion modest, enough to satisfy, not to overwhelm. Because here's the truth: aging well isn't about removing joy from food. It's about being intentional. You deserve meals that taste good and feel good, not just in the moment, but hours later. That's the kind of breakfast your body is asking for now. And I know some days are tougher than others. There might be mornings when it feels easier to skip breakfast entirely or grab something from a box. But don't let those days become the default. Because every bite you take is a message to your body. A reminder that you still value your strength, your clarity, your future. You don't need perfect blood sugar, perfect digestion, perfect balance. What you do need is to nourish, gently, steadily, consistently. It's not about eating like you did in your 30s or 40s. It's about eating for your 60s, your 70s, and beyond. Because the body may change, but the need for care, for nourishment, for real, satisfying food that never fades. And your oatmeal. It can still be that comfort food you've always loved, just wiser now, more tailored to you. So here we are, back at the breakfast table. Just you, a warm bowl of oatmeal, and a new sense of awareness. Not guilt, not pressure, Just a quiet understanding that every meal you make can either lift you up or weigh you down. And the beautiful truth? You get to choose. Maybe this week you'll swap the instant packet for steel-cut oats, or try a savory version with an egg and a little turmeric. Maybe you'll add a spoonful of ground flax seed, pour that glass of water before your first bite, or finally remember to take your supplements because you set them out the night before. These are not dramatic changes. They're not flashy, but they are powerful. Because small, intentional steps, taken day after day, are what nourish longevity. They're what protect your memory, your balance, your joy. They're what help you move through your day without that foggy crash or the dull ache in your joints. These choices, humble as they are acts of self-respect. And if there's one thing I hope you take from this entire video, it's this. You don't have to eat perfectly, just with purpose. Let your breakfast be a reminder, not just of health, but of your own capacity to keep learning, adapting, and honoring your body. Let your oatmeal become more than a habit. Let it be an anchor, a grounding place where healing begins each day. You've lived through decades of trends, of food fads, of shifting advice, and yet the real wisdom has always been simple. Eat what helps you feel better. That's the measure. That's the goal. So this week, try one change. Just one. You don't need a total transformation. You need a tiny commitment that says, I still care about my body. I still believe in my strength. Let that belief carry you into the kitchen, into your morning, into your next chapter. And if this video gave you motivation to move or make a change, please like, share, and subscribe. Your strength encourages others. Someone else might need to hear this just as much as you did today. Take care of yourself, and I'll see you in the next one.